Alright guys, welcome back to the channel today. Got the tractor in here, John Deere 955 compact tractor. Been using it some this spring to mow and to till, but I noticed recently that when I take my throttle all the way up to the top to throttle up for running my PTO on my mower or my tiller, it just didn't seem like I was getting the RPMs that I should be. And got to looking, and I got a problem, and so just trying to take things apart today, and gonna bring you along a little bit for the ride here, so stay tuned.
Cockadoodle Crew! Cockadoodle Crew! Cockadoodle Crew!
Alright, so the main issue that looks like I'm having with the tractor is that there's a bracket broken that holds the fuel filter, and also the throttle cable slide is mounted to that same bracket. It is broken up underneath there, and my thought at the moment is to take it apart and try to clean it up and weld the bracket back together and reinstall everything. It should fix my problem. But if you're another John Deere 955 tractor owner out there, maybe you have the same problem. It appears that this is, an engine that has a lot of vibration and things like that, so I'm sure that's what broke it. When we get further into it, I could be wrong, maybe there's other issues, but right now it just looks like a broken metal bracket, and we're going to try to take things apart enough to locate that, isolate it, and fix it. I've already started taking this apart. I took out the bolt that holds the fuel filter on, but the bracket is also connected to this throttle cable linkage. So I am gonna take it off, and you can see this whole piece that I'm grabbing up behind there should be connected way up under the motor and be solid up underneath like that. So I'm taking this next piece off, and we'll see if that fixes or see if that gets us further into this. Okay, there we go. This is part of the bracket that was holding the fuel filter, was held on right here, and the throttle cable linkage was held on up here, and this back piece right there is where it was actually used to be connected up. So we got to get the other section there off, and it appears that this item right here, which I'm not a tractor expert, this is connected to it, and hopefully get all the pieces off that we need. Alright, so it looks like with that piece loose, I should be able to get to these two other 12mm looking bolts that are holding the bracket to the engine block, and we'll unscrew those and see what comes off it. Hopefully gets the rest of our bracket all the way off. Oh, there's a piece right there. That's the piece that was broke. That's the piece that's broken. It was kind of hard to tell where where all these mounted back up to, but hopefully I can find a diagram on it. But I ended up with these pieces all coming off, and then my broken section. So putting it back together might take a couple of tries, but we'll see if we can get it welded up by a friend. I'll make some calls and see what we can do. Here's the bracket that was broken. See that? right there. And it was it had my fuel filter and then throttle cable hooked to it, and I think it was kind of covered up by the other bracket that I'm not sure what that piece was that was hooked on, but I'm sure you can buy this bracket, but I'm gonna see if maybe I can have somebody weld it before I go and buy a new one. So see what kind of luck we have with that. That'll be hopefully on the next clip you see. I hope. That'd be awesome. What? Let me get your pretty face in there.
No, I don't like being recorded. Why don't you start that?
Oh, February or something, maybe. Can you hold your helmet for you?
I get
That would be up against your head at least. Wouldn't be like a bolt or a screw.
should do it.
All right. Sweet. Man, it's nice.
Pretty good. So what do you do?
Oh, nice. Well, I make YouTube videos. You want to be on there?
No.
You don't want to be on there? Yeah. I want to see your little baby. Whitey tighty. Well, the girls like to name some of the chickens, and when we had so many there, they always, whatever they do, like one of the friends, so. All right, guys. Well, I showed you yesterday the mending process, the welding and fixing, grinding process on this bracket, and I will now attempt to reinstall and get the pieces in the right order. I kind of didn't pay too close of attention of how it was stacked in there. I didn't realize there was three actually different bracket pieces. I thought it was just one. So when it all came apart in three pieces, I was a little surprised. Anyway, the thing is, I was looking online to see if I could see that diagram, and it appears this is a common problem on these 955 tractors, that this piece breaks, and that people will mend it, weld it, reinstall, it'll break again, and some of them have bought a replacement part that appears to be a thicker, maybe John Deere's updated the part and it's thicker now, metal, and help solve that problem. And then you need different bolts apparently because it's that much thicker of a metal. And then it sounds like other people have handcrafted their own additional bracket to help with the vibration and the flopping around of this thing in there that probably is what's causing it to break anyway. So we'll see how far we get with that. If we are going to just look at that, there are some extra holes in this bracket that maybe could be used to give it some support. But right now I just have the original piece that broke, welded as you saw, and grinded down. And so we'll see what we can do about it. Stay tuned. All right, guys. Well, I'm sitting here trying to put this puzzle back together, and I'm seeing this piece right here. It's kind of a horizontal tapered piece with a fat end and a narrower end. I did reinstall that one first. It looks like it might just align some bolts. I really didn't get a good look at this before I took it all apart, which I thought it was gonna be simpler and less pieces, so I didn't look that hard at it. Anyway, it appears that these two holes are the ones that's gonna be holding this back of the bracket. But I really can't tell what this piece here does or what its function is. It looks like there was a bolt hole there, but I don't see what bolts into it. I guess this is a matter of trying to fit all this stuff back in here. These two brackets definitely were stacked when I took them apart, and that was hard to tell. So alright, so I got this bolt and that bolt were the ones holding the two brackets to the firewall, or to the cylinder block. One of them is going to house this solenoid here, which is going to have to get put back in the right position. I'll have to be figuring that out. And then this one here is to hold the fuel filter back on. So there's one piece, two pieces. I don't know that I need to take off this third piece back here. This long, narrow, tapered piece. I don't know what it did. Maybe I didn't need to take it off, but it looked like it was all connected at the time. So that's what I did. And anyway, we'll try to get that solenoid realigned and get it back on there. Alright, starting to get that lower bolt on the solenoid to turn. But you have to take that solenoid all the way off to get to the bolts behind that hold the bracket on. So there's really no other way. That all feels really solid, but as we said, the reason this thing breaks is because the motor vibrates so much that this piece has a lot of tension on it once it's got the weight of this fuel filter bracket on it. So I might look at that and see if there's something I can do to stabilize that, as others have done on the internet that I saw. Alright, well, before we get too far with making more brackets, we better test out the tractor and see if it's going to run. See if I messed something up or not. Alright, well, that seemed to work. Even at full throttle, I wonder if this needs some more adjustment here because it didn't quite go all the way up on the RPMs. But I do see, I found a little piece of conduit and I just smashed the ends in a vise. That seemed to be a stronger piece of metal than what else I had on hand, which is like these little flimsy things like that. So I was gonna have to bolt two together and all that. So this looks like this might be a solution. Looks like I could put a hole, could drill a hole here and drill a hole here, and maybe just kind of help that rattling, that vibration issue by bracing it up a little bit. So we'll try to make some marks and look at that. Okay, so we bolted that on. Making that good and tight. It's actually like the perfect length. So now we got to decide, we're gonna put a hole down through that hole right there and run a long bolt and nut through it, hopefully. Okay, never mind. We just ran a self-tapper screw through that because the length of this piece is actually pushing a little down pressure on that metal. So just the length of that is making a tension and slight, but maybe it'll help hold that from breaking loose from wobbling too much over time. And just that self-tapper kind of sucked that in. It's going to hold it in place. We'll see. This motor's vibrates a lot, so we'll check on it after we run it a little while and see what happens. But it might be a little redneck fix for the moment, and those are my favorite kind. So anyway, I doubt I'm the first one to try to do something like this on a tractor. So anyway, let's see if it runs. Hopefully this little redneck fix here will do something and maybe give you an idea out there. If you've got a tractor similar situation or one of these 955s, you might have already been dealing with it. This is maybe just the beginning of some issues according to the internet. And so anyway, rather than doing it over and over, maybe this will help us keep the bracket in good shape for a while longer. Anyway, thanks for checking in with the Cockadoodle Crew. Find us again for more videos on chicken stuff, garden stuff, tractor stuff, kids, cats, whatever you got. We got several things going on, so stay tuned. Thanks. Bye.